we talk a lot about replacing. Like I said, we talk a lot about replacing Coach Bryant, and we finally had him replaced with Coach Stalling. But there was a 13-year window where we didn't win. Didn't win the big thing, the big national title. So we didn't get back to that level of expectation consistently. Under Coach Stallings, we were there consistently, but we didn't like that style of offense. So there was a lot of things that went into it that caused that to go away. And then we went on a 17-year hiatus where we were hungry and searching, and we had some SEC titles, but Alabama football is not measured in SEC titles. It's measured in national championships. So in basketball, I think basketball has a different criteria. Not that you lessen the standards, but when you look at basketball, I first of all, I don't think Alabama fans put enough expectations on basketball. I really don't. I don't think we put enough expectations on basketball. I could be wrong. I mean, James, do you think Alabama fans have a high enough expectation?
That's an interesting take, Martin. First off, I got to find out, what would your expectations be for the basketball program?
Well, I don't see why. I hear people say, well, you can't do both. Well, Florida did both. Florida had no tradition. When I was in college, Florida had no football tradition. Didn't Spurrier win like their first national title? They were not even a threat in the SEC in football, much less basketball. Wimp Sanderson had more championships, more tournament appearances in his tenure here than Florida had in their school history.
Florida didn't have their first NCAA tournament appearance until 1987, by the way.
So if those teams, so my thing, James, is if the Florida Gators in my lifetime can become a threat in every major sport, every male sport, basketball, football, and baseball, and they dominating softball now as well. And they're pretty good in gymnastics. But my point, in the three male sports, the way you judge, and it's not being ugly to the female sports, but the way you judge athletic programs, football, baseball, basketball, what tradition did Florida have in any of those in the 90s? They didn't have it. And so when I look at that and I go, of course, I think Alabama, people go, well, Alabama can't ever really win a national title. Alabama can't win a national title in basketball. That's what you hear. Alabama can't win it in baseball. Well, why? Why? If Florida can do it, they did it in football, and then they brought in a coach behind him, behind Spurrier, who took it to the next level in Urban Meyer, and they got a couple of national titles. And while he was there, Donald, the basketball coach, I just drew a blank, coach in Oklahoma City.
Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan and Urban Meyer partnered together, and they built an athletic department with basketball and football. They were neighbors. They lived on the same street, and they partnered together to take the program to the next level. And they were winning championships in football and in basketball. So if Florida, who didn't make an NCAA appearance in the tournament till 87, can get to a national title, why can't Alabama get there? But you listen to the Alabama fans, James, and you hear things like, well, if we can get back to the NCAA, if we can get to the Sweet 16. And even I heard the other day when Barry said this team has the talent. Don't mean they're good enough and they'll play well enough to be a Final Four team. There were people who were like, really? You don't hear confidence when you say Alabama's going to be a Final Four team. But why?
because I think the expectation is, and the satisfaction level is, and hey, if I'm wrong, call me out. But I think the expectation and the satisfaction level is, hey, let's just get to the tournament. Let's win a couple games. And we're happy in basketball. And we shouldn't be. And Wimp when Wimp left here, he had set a foundation that could have been built on. That could have taken this program, James, to the next level, because he established in his 12 years 10 straight appearances. I don't know, probably half of those were Sweet 16, where we weren't just making the tournament when Wimp was here. We were winning games. We were 5-5. Almost half of his tenure, he won the SEC tournament. Advanced. And that was a foundation that Alabama to this day, James, has not only have we not built upon it, like Florida built upon the foundation that was set by their 87 team, and then they had a couple more teams, and then they made coaching changes. Not only have we not built upon it, we're having to rebuild the foundation. And what's going on right now is Avery Johnson is just rebuilding the foundation. Whereas as basketball fans, Alabama's going, well, man, if we can get into the tournament, you should be expecting to not just get to the tournament, but to advance. Why can't Alabama be great in basketball? Someone call up and tell me, why can't Alabama be great? So my question is, would you rather – here's a question. Would you rather have Wimp Sanderson – and I'm not – would you love to see Wimp Sanderson coaching this team? I would. I'd like to see what he would do with this team. Would Wimp have grown and changed enough to let the horses run a little bit more? Because fundamentally, you weren't gonna outplay Alabama basketball in my era. And I'm telling you, and you weren't gonna have there was not a better atmosphere in any coliseum or gymnasium than what you had at Alabama. So would you rather have Wimp Sanderson and maybe that style that didn't necessarily run as much as people like to see today, James, but he had some horses. I would love to see some of those Wimp Sanderson teams play in today's basketball world. Alabama fans, do you have a high enough expectation of your football program? I mean, your basketball program? You know, we dog football and we say football get all the talk. But, hey, what if the Alabama fans, James, all of a sudden demanded the same level of execution and success of the basketball program that they have of the football program? Would we see the team respond? I think so. And I think Coach Avery Johnson is building something and reestablishing and solidifying a foundation that can lead to greater things where the expectations are there, but it hasn't been there before. So